Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be making a peach and raspberry ice cream using the Comfee juicer. This was something sent to me by the Comfee company to test out, which I did on my other channel, Happy Haunting. So be sure to check that out, where we make some delicious apple cider. But one of the great things about this juicer is that it is supposed to be able to make ice cream. Of course, ice cream is more of a technical term than I think perhaps what we're making today, but we're going to give it a go and see what happens using some frozen fruit. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is change out the strainer that makes the juice to the strainer that makes the ice cream. So it's very easy. You just take out the pieces. Now this was, again, the filter for the juice. This is the one for the ice cream. Not really sure what the difference is. It doesn't seem to have the metal grating in the middle. So we're going to see what happens. So just place it in there, pop the auger back on, and flip the top back into place. Quick and easy. So with the fruit, you're going to need frozen fruit. You can use fresh fruit, but you do have to freeze it for 8 to 12 hours. I'm just using bagged frozen fruit, and you need to thaw it for about 15 minutes before putting it into the juicer. So let's go ahead and open up the peaches. Now these definitely a little bit frozen. We're going to take a few of them, just pop them into the, I don't know what you call that, the tray. Just flips right over and they fall in. Let's add some raspberries. So it might be a little more thawed than the peaches, but let's see what happens. You do want to make sure that this selector knob is set to soft fruits. And then we're going to go ahead and place our container to catch the ice cream here on the slag release. And then we're just going to flip it to ice cream and see what happens. It's coming out very connected. Let's go ahead and throw in some more fruit, see what happens. Now, we can add a little bit of milk or half and half to the mix, supposedly. So let's go ahead and see what happens when we do that. Give it a little bit more of a creamy texture. It does seem to be coming out just a little bit, kind of looks like ice cream-like, somewhat a little bit like sorbet. Add a few more raspberries to the mix. Again, there's no real rhyme or reason to how much we're putting in, just whatever combination looks good to you. I am going to use the stopper to try and push down some of this excess material. And as you can see, as it makes its way into the auger, we're pushing out quite a bit more ice cream. All right, it is a little bit of a challenge to get this last bit of fruit down into the auger. Looks like there is a little bit stuck up there in the top. This pusher only goes in one direction, which is kind of good because most of the fruit does get stuck in the back of the machine, but it does make it hard to get just that little bit stuck in the corner. Alright. So I think we will call it done. That's about as much as we're going to get out of that. Go ahead and turn the machine off. And we'll scoop out the rest of the ice cream. It actually made quite a bit more than I was expecting. So again, I used 20 ounces of frozen peaches, and I used most of a bag, which is 12 ounces of the raspberry. Put in a little dash of half and half. It's kind of hard to keep the half and half consistent because I'm constantly putting in more fruit, so I guess I could have put more fruit and more half and half all together at the same time every time, but that's kind of a handful. So we're just going to give it a little bit of a mix. with our ice cream scoop. It is very thick. It's a bit, it does kind of resemble ice cream, but I guess the real question is, how does it taste? So let's go ahead, scoop up just a little bit. It's a little hard. It's not going to scoop up into a nice round ball, but let's see what happens when we put it into the dish. All right, you could probably pop this in the freezer again just a little bit to let it refreeze. Might try that just to see how much better it turns out, but the ice cream itself, it actually looks pretty good. It makes a nice little dessert. So let's go ahead and see how it tastes. It is actually very tangy. It's not very sweet. So I'm not sure if we might want to mix in just a little bit more sugar or sweetener into this. One thing that I am noticing is it's not very smooth like ice cream either. It is just sort of a mashed fruit. Kind of, I guess it'd be almost kind of like a frozen baby food, but it's pretty good. So we decided to make this into more of an ice cream by heating up half and half on the stove and adding 4 tablespoons of sweetener. Now that the sweetener has completely dissolved into the milk, we're going to go ahead and pour it into our fruit mixture and give it a good stir. Now that that's all combined, we're going to put it into the freezer for a few hours to let it set up fully. So after taste testing it in its more liquid form, we added a little bit more sweetener to it, about 4 more tablespoons as a matter of fact. Threw it in the freezer for about 4 hours, and as you can see, it's pretty solid. I did stir it up every hour or so, just so it was thoroughly mixed together. But Tom, if you want to go ahead and scoop it, we'll go ahead and give it a taste test now.
Oh, it's really...
It's a little bit stiff, so we've used some hot water to warm up the scoop, so it makes it easy. But the texture looks like it is somewhat, what's the word, pulpy, but it was before, so hopefully the sugar has just given it a little bit more sweetness to make it a little more palatable than just the mashed fruit flavor. Plus we added all the half and half to give it just a little bit more of a creamy texture, so let's see if that made a difference. What do you think, Tom?
It could be sweeter. I think when it's cold, it tastes a lot less sweet than when we had it in the mixture. And it's really kind of lumpy. I'm not sure if we could have blended it more, maybe.
Right, so we just used the juicer to do this. Obviously, you know, if we had put it in a blender, we might have gotten more of a smoothie type texture. But you know, for a no sugar added treat, it's pretty good. It's got a nice tangy zip to it.
But I would say it's more like a frozen smoothie than a sorbet or ice cream. Definitely frozen smoothie. I'm done. I'm done.
All right, well, I'm not sure we would qualify this as the best things, but it's a pretty good thing. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more fun videos as we explore more of the best things. Till next time, guys, take care.